Well, I know a lot of people are looking forward to this project of yours for Battleborn Magazine. When you guys had put out just like the overall like idea and stuff like that, the fantasy community was a buzz, particularly for indie authors. Like people were like, "Dude, this is gonna be awesome." I was like, "It
I've,
sounds amazing to me."
I've been very proud that we've struck a nice balance between trad pub authors who are
Yeah, yeah,
we've got Michael Stackpole with our second issue with the cover story. We've but the
I love
indie
him.
authors are just as important as the trad pub guys, and
Yeah.
especially because they're the ones doing really interesting experimental stuff. I'll share two with you right now. One of them, and especially given your background in 80s cinema, Skylar Hernstrom, one of the rock stars of independent sword and sorcery. The man looks like he is born to write this genre. Tattooed sleeves, military background, battle axe in his author photo, and his fiction sings off the page. He writes like Robert E. Howard meets Jack Vance, and we have
Oh
his
wow.
debut novel, The Last Spell, serialized in our first 3 issues.
Oh, that's cool.
And if you guys don't know who he is yet, don't worry. You'll be in love by the last part.
Sorry, writing that down.
As for
That's
another good example, Alyssa Hazel, independent horror author. And her inclusion is one of my favorite stories of the production process. I was at MarsCon 2025 and had just gotten the call that Howard had died. I was attending with Christopher Rocchio. He was the guest of honor, and he was bummed out. I was distraught, obviously. And
yeah.
I was walking along through the dealer room, and Alyssa has a booth, and she's reading Clark Ashton Smith, one of the godfathers of classic sword and sorcery. And get to talking with her about it in the craft, and she just gave such a loving description for classic pulp, Clark Ashton Smith, his approach to prose and style, very intelligent, clearly knew her stuff. And I just thought to myself, what would Howard do if he was here right now? Because the next thing she said, I just wish I ever had a chance to write this kind of stuff. Funny you mention it, ma'am. And here's the thing, and we might talk about this a bit more when we talk about the anthologies I've worked on. Chances are a dime a dozen in this business. And sometimes you swing and you get a hit, sometimes you swing and you miss. There's no shame in that. But this woman didn't just swing and get a hit. She swung and belted that thing into the cheap seats with her story, 10 Arrows. And I can't wait for all of you to see her tale about a young woman saving her village from a dire plague and a Mongolian deathworm. Rule of thumb for any future submissions, if you include a Mongolian deathworm, you're halfway to the acceptance letter. Just halfway. But every little bit helps. We had Violet Milan, who wrote some great fantasy for DAW books back in the day.
Yeah.
I think our big surprise is a sword and sorcery humor story by an author who I won't share the name yet, but his father is one of the most widely respected National Geographic contributors of the past 50 years. And this is his first ever work of fiction. He'd never tried it before our submission window. And by God, if you people buy enough, trust me, I'm going to have him cranking out stories for us for a while if this goes. But I was very pleased by the indies, the slush authors, and that reception from the fantasy community. Believe me, if you guys keep showing us the love you've shown us so far, we will turn that back to you. Believe it.